Claws. Blank. Use their claws to blank. Squeeze. You can squeeze blank. Tube. Shine. Today the sun shines. Shone. Yesterday the sun shone. Yesterday the blank shone. Stabbed. Behind. The blank is behind the blank. Crawl. Blank crawl. Blank don't crawl. Bait. Blank is bait for blank. Bottom. The blank is at the bottom of the ocean. Leaned. Blank leaned on blank. Trap. Growing Up by the Sea by Carrie Waters. I played with fish eyes when I was a kid. It's true. They were real eyes from real fish. My father was a lobster fisherman. My sisters and I played with lots of things from the sea. Lobsters and starfish and clams were things we saw every day. We had a pet horseshoe crab for a while. It lived in a little boat in the front yard. You play with the things around you, right? Once I put a lobster down on the kitchen floor. The lobster waved its claws in the air. Then it began to crawl along. It looked like a little robot. Its little claw feet clicked on the floor. That lobster freaked out our dog Butch. She barked and yelped and pretended to jump on the thing. But she was scared to touch it. So she ran and hid behind the sofa. We played with clams too. If you squeeze a clam, water squirts out of it. My sister Bobby and I squeezed clams. We told our little sisters the water was clam pee. Then we chased them around the house and made them scream. It wasn't really pee, but they didn't know that. My dad on the boat. I had the most fun on the lobster boat with my father. You catch lobsters in traps. My dad pulled each trap up by a rope. I leaned over the side of the boat and watched the rope zip up out of the water. Zip, zip, drops of water shot off the rope. The sun on the water drops made little rainbows. I thought about the bottom of the sea. There was a whole world down there. I didn't know much about that world. I knew lobsters and crabs crawled on the bottom. Fish swam around and ate each other. Strange things lived down there in the dark. What would a trap have inside when it came up out of the water? You never knew. Lobsters, crabs, fish, snails. Sometimes there were things I'd never seen before. My father took everything out of the trap. He stuck a dead fish onto a big nasty hook inside the trap. The fish was the bait. Then he threw the trap back into the water. I played around with anything that came out of the traps. I set up crab races. The crabs ran sideways. I tried to get hermit crabs to come out of the shells they lived in. No way. I picked up starfish. They grabbed onto my fingers with the little tubes under their arms. One day, Bobby and I found these pretty little balls on the boat. We held them up, and the sun shone through them. We tossed them back and forth. "What are these, Dad?" I asked. My father looked at me. He didn't say a word. He just picked up some bait. It was a redfish. Then he stabbed it onto that wicked hook in the trap. Pop! Out popped a fish eyeball. So that's what those pretty balls were. An artist's kid plays with paint, a carpenter's kid plays with wood and nails, and a fisherman's kid? I played with fish eyes.